Everyone wants big, powerful shoulders, but one mistake is keeping most people looking exactly the same. They treat shoulder day like a side quest, then wonder why their shoulders still look like two pancakes glued to their body. The problem isn't your effort, it's how you're training. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build bigger, wider shoulders without wrecking your joints, wasting time on hundreds of lateral raises, or falling for TikTok fitness myths. Let's start with the basics. The first thing you need to understand is that your shoulder isn't just one muscle. It's made up of three heads that work together, but most of the time, only one of them ends up doing all the work. You've got the front delt, the side delt, and the rear delt. Your front delts usually get way more training than they need, often without you even realizing it, just because you bench press every Monday like it's written into the gym rule book. Your rear delts get ignored, like the vegetables you always leave on your plate. And then there's the side delt. That's the real MVP. That's the muscle that gives your shoulders their width and that round capped look. Yet somehow, almost nobody trains it properly. Now, let me stop you for a second and tell you something most people don't know. Shoulder width isn't just about building bigger muscles. It's also about creating a visual illusion. Research in biomechanics and EMG has shown that the side delts have a greater impact on the appearance of your upper body frame than almost any other muscle, even more than your chest. Why? Because the human eye judges width and strength from the widest point of your body. When your side delts grow, your shoulders become wider without your waist getting any bigger. Same body weight, same body fat percentage, but you instantly look much stronger. That's why you'll see people who don't have massive arms or an enormous chest, yet the moment they put on a t-shirt, they look broad, athletic, and well-built. In one well-known shoulder training experiment, researchers compared people who simply gained overall muscle mass with people who focused specifically on developing their side and rear delts. The second group gave the impression of being wider and stronger, even though they gained less total muscle. That's exactly what we're going to fix today. We'll go through every part of the shoulder in the right order, using weights that actually challenge you, not the tiny dumbbells that make you feel like you're training without making any real progress. One more thing before we get into the exercises: big shoulders don't come from lifting the heaviest weights in the gym. This isn't the time to show off or prove you're the strongest person in the room. Shoulders respond to control, they respond to feeling the muscle working, they respond to clean, well-executed reps. If your lower back is working harder than your shoulders, you're training for an injury, and that's not why we're here. Let's start with the first exercise, the overhead press. This is the foundation, the king of shoulder exercises. It builds real size and does an excellent job of targeting the front delts. The problem is, most people butcher it. They lean so far back, it looks like they're trying to dodge a falling object, turning it into half a bench press and half whatever that was. The fix is simple. Keep your ribs down, brace your core, and press the weight straight overhead. Pick a weight you can actually control, and if your elbows are wobbling like you're trying to tune an old radio, go lighter. It's okay. Trust me, nobody's watching you. Well, maybe me a little. Now that we've covered the basics, let's get into the details that separate someone who simply works out from someone who actually builds impressive shoulders. Let's go back to lateral raises for a second, because people seriously underestimate them. They think they're just an accessory exercise, but if you want real shoulder width, this movement deserves your respect. Here's something important: your lifting angle. Raise the dumbbells too far in front of you and your front delts take over. Raise them too far behind you and the exercise loses its purpose. The sweet spot is right in line with your shoulders, not too far forward, not too far back. And instead of thinking about lifting the weight, think about making your body wider. Don't forget your breathing either. A lot of people hold their breath once the burn kicks in, and all that does is wear you out faster. Exhale gently as you lift. Inhale as you lower. It makes a bigger difference than you'd expect. Now let's answer an important question. How often should you train shoulders? The honest answer is twice a week for most people. Why? Because your shoulders are already involved in your chest and back workouts, meaning they're working more than you probably realize. If you destroy them with one brutal session every week, you'll usually end up either overdoing it or not training them effectively. Split it up. Have one day focused on your side and rear delts, and another where you include overhead pressing with a bit less overall volume. That gives your shoulders enough stimulus to grow without beating up your joints. Let's also talk about pain versus the burn. They're not the same thing. The burn is normal. In fact, it's expected. Sharp pain? Absolutely not. That's your body telling you to stop. The shoulder is a complex joint, and if you ignore the small warning signs, they can turn into a much bigger injury. And don't confuse the pump with muscle growth. Feeling like your shoulders are swollen after a workout is great, but the real growth happens while you're sleeping, eating, and giving your body time to recover. That brings us to warming up. No, it's not a waste of time. Before training shoulders, do some shoulder circles, a few band exercises, and a couple of sets with very light weights. 5 to 7 minutes of warm-up can save you from weeks of dealing with an injury. Don't neglect your smaller, stabilizer muscles either. They don't show up in the mirror, but without them, your shoulders will fatigue much faster. Here's another mistake people make: the relationship between your chest and your shoulders. If your chest is strong, but your shoulders are weak, your front delts usually end up doing more work than they should. That's why training your side and rear delts isn't just about aesthetics, it's about balance. And balance means more strength and fewer injuries. The same goes for your back. A weak back leads to weak shoulders, especially your rear delts. If you're not training your back properly, don't be surprised if your shoulders never look complete. Now let's talk about weekly training volume. A lot of people ask, how many sets do I actually need? A realistic answer is somewhere between 10 and 16 effective sets per week for your shoulders as a whole, not in one workout the entire week. Spread the volume out. Pay attention to how your body responds and adjust as needed. And here's the final point, the one that's probably the most important: patience. Shoulders are one of the slowest muscle groups to build. You're not going to wake up one morning and suddenly have boulder shoulders. The changes happen gradually. You'll notice them in the way your clothes fit, in your posture, and in how strong you feel. Then one day, you'll catch yourself in the mirror and think, wait, my shoulders actually got bigger. That's one of the best feelings there is, so keep the plan simple. Choose the right exercises, use good technique, apply progressive overload, sleep well, and eat properly. And don't forget to enjoy the process. If every workout feels like punishment, you won't stick with it. Put your headphones on, laugh through the burn, and keep going. At the end of the day, if you want truly impressive shoulders, train your front, side, and rear delts. Keep them balanced, don't rush the process, and train smart. Now go build shoulders that make you stronger today and even stronger tomorrow. Now you know how to train your shoulders, but here's what most people still get wrong. Muscles don't actually grow during your workout. If you want to know when they really grow and how to maximize it, watch this video right here. I'll see you there.